Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. In today's video we are going to talk about the Kennedy half dollars, focusing on the years from 1964 all the way until 1970. Now the reason why we're focusing on 1964 and 1970 is because these ones have silver in them. So even if you find one, then it's in a very worn out condition like this one right here, it will still be worth more than its face value. We'll also introduce this one at the end of the video. This is a 2007. This is what's known as the NIFC, so not intended for circulation. So at the end of the video, we'll talk about the mintages, and that will make sense a little bit later then. Now, as far as the melt value of these two coins go, the reason why they have a melt value that's higher than their face value is because they have silver in them. The one on the left is going to have 90% silver, 10% copper. The one on the right, however, will have 40% silver, 60% copper. The one on the left will have a weight of 12.5 grams and a melt value of about $5.25. The one on the right will have a weight of 11.5 grams, melt value of $2.18. Now, it could be worth even more if you've got one of the well-known errors or varieties associated with the Kennedy half dollars. Now, there are a lot of them associated with the 1964. The two most prominent ones, the first one is the accented hair. So I'll tell you the story on the accented hair. It's located on the 1964 Kennedy half dollar proof. So Jacqueline Kennedy, the wife of John F. Kennedy, played a major role in the production of the Kennedy half dollars. Initially, they wanted to include it on the quarter and replace George Washington, but they decided against it. So soon after, the Kennedy half dollar started to come out. However, Miss Kennedy did not really like the accented hair that was associated right here, so that she asked that they change that in 1964 for those 1964 proof coins. So less than 5% of the entire 1964 proof Kennedy half dollar mintages have that accented hair. So that's why it's going to be worth a little bit more than your regular proof coin, is just because only 5% of those 1964s are going to have the accented hair. Now that is listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide. They list the 1964 accented hair. They have it at a PF67 price of $90. PF66 of $60, and PF65 of $32. Now, if you're not sure if yours has the accented hair, another place you'll want to look is right here with this eye. So if the eye at the bottom has a missing sheriff to it, so a missing little bottom section to it, then that's an indication that it's the accented hair version as well. So if you match up both the missing serif right here and the accented hair, then you have what's known as the accented hair. Another one that I thought is very cool is a quadruple die. So this one is listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide to Rare Die and Variety Coins as well. So here's a little bit of the info about it. This has a price. It actually doesn't list the price, but it says doubling to quadrupling is evident in We Trust, the 4 in the date in RTY of Liberty, and the hair on the back of the head. Very light doubling is visible on the 96 of the date. So you're going to look for that 1964 Kennedy half dollar for possible quadruple die. Now, there are a lot of different double die errors out there. So a double die occurs when the lettering is doubled or any other feature on it is doubled. That can occur by the die striking it twice. It could happen if the die struck it once and then bounced a little bit. So the fact that there's quadrupling is very, very cool. Now, the other main error that's out there is what's known as the wrong Planchet error. Now, that's more associated with kind of the later coins. So people have found 1977 Kennedy half dollars, which are supposed to be copper nickel clad, like these ones right here, that are actually on 40% silver Planchet. So if you find a 1977 and you flip it over and you see that it's silver all the way through, like these ones right here, then that could be a wrong Planchet error. And these have sold for a lot of money. So always keep an eye on the edge of the coin. There have been almost uncirculated graded ones that have sold for $6,000 plus. Those have been graded by PCGS. So an almost uncirculated means that you can still pick it out of circulation. So it's bounced around in circulation just a light amount and it hasn't really got a lot of scrapes to it. So the best way, the easiest way, the quickest way to tell if it's silver or not is to flip it over on its side. So these ones right here, this is your 40% silver, this is your 90% silver, but it doesn't really matter when you're looking at the edges. But you can clearly tell that this one up here is the copper nickel clad Kennedy half dollars. So we see the copper showing through right there. As far as the mintages for these coins go, I've got that info for you. If you're wondering why you haven't been able to find a 1965 Denver mint, well, there are some good reasons for it. So here are the mintages. 1964, they were made at both the Philly and the Denver mint. 1965, 66, and 67, they're only made at the Philadelphia mint. Then it switches over. In 1968, 69, and 70, they were made only at the Denver mint. Now, the hardest to find of those ones that I just listed will be the 1970 Denver mint. There were only 2,150,000 of those that were produced. In comparison to the one that I've got right here, which is the 1968 Denver mint, there are 246 million of these made. So if you're going to pull one out of circulation, you might find one of these ones right here, 1968 Denver mint. You're a lot more likely to find that than you are to find that 1970. You're also a lot more likely to find a 1968, or probably equally likely, than you are to find one of these ones right here. Now, the reasons why you can't find a lot of these is because these are known as the not intended for circulation. So the Kennedy half dollar after 2001 was only made and sold directly to coin collectors. They weren't mass produced after 2001 and distributed to banks. They're not intended for general circulation, hence the NIFC, and they were sold directly to coin collectors. Now, the metal content of these isn't anything special. However, the mintages on them are very low. So what I've got right here is a 2007 Philadelphia mint. So there are only 2,400,000 of these made in 2007 at the Philadelphia mint and 2,400 at the Denver mint. So just to reaffirm what I said, 2002 is the cutoff date for not intended for circulations. You'll see mintages on 2002 are 3 million. 2001, when they're mass producing them from everyone, those are up at 21 million for the Philadelphia, 19 million for the Denver. So quite the drop off after 2001. Now they're still making these today, so you could get in 2016, 17, 18, get some really nice Kennedy half dollars if you're building a set registry. Now, before we had the Kennedy half dollars, I'll just add on some miscellaneous stuff right here. We had this coin right here. This is the Ben Franklin. So this was made all the way up until the switch to the Kennedy half dollar. This one as well as silver. These Ben Franklin half dollars didn't really have much of a long run to them. That's because of the Kennedy assassination, which occurred in 1963, I believe. And then the next year they switched right over to the Kennedy half dollars starting in 1964. So very quick turnaround after Kennedy's assassination. So to recap on what we talked about, 1964, this coin right here, it has two known errors, well, many known errors. The most popular one is the accented hair. One of my favorites is the Quadruple Die, and it is going to be made out of 90% silver, so it's got a melt value of about $5.25. The one on the right here, this is a NIFC because it's dated 2002 or after. And then this one right here was made from the production years of 1965 until 1970. So that means it is 40% silver. It got a melt value of $2.18. That's all the info that I've got for today's video. If you're still watching at this point, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day and enjoy your coin collection.